probably heard this phrase before. Keep some mystery. But what no one tells you is why it works, why women crave it, and why the moment you lose it, everything changes, see? Most men think attraction is about how much you show, how many compliments you give, how much attention you pour, how open you are. But in reality, the more you reveal too soon, the faster you kill curiosity. And curiosity, that's the oxygen of attraction. When a woman meets you, she doesn't fall for your words first. She falls for the unknown behind them. The space between what you say and what you hold back, that's what her mind starts to chase. Mystery creates emotional friction. It makes her wonder, who is he really? What's he thinking? Why can't I read him like everyone else? That wonder turns into interest, and that interest slowly becomes desire. But most men can't handle the silence. They rush to fill every gap with explanations, reassurance, stories, validation, and in doing so, they strip away the very element that made them attractive in the first place. Here's the brutal truth. A man who reveals everything early isn't being honest. He's being desperate. Desperate for approval. Desperate to be seen. Desperate to be understood. And that energy? Women feel it instantly. High-value men, the ones who draw women in effortlessly, they do something different. They let silence do the heavy lifting. They understand that presence speaks louder than persuasion. When he talks, he doesn't overshare. When he texts, he doesn't double message. When he walks away, he doesn't explain why. He just moves with calm certainty. And that calmness tells her everything she needs to know. Because mystery isn't about manipulation. It's not playing games. It's about emotional discipline. The ability to stay still when others crave attention. To remain unreadable when others spill their thoughts. It's quiet power. Think about the men women fantasize about. The ones who stay in their head long after the date is over. They're not loud. They're not chasing. They're not predictable. They're centered. They create space, and in that space attraction grows. See, when a man becomes too available, too transparent, he becomes ordinary. Predictable behavior creates emotional security but not attraction. And attraction thrives on tension. That's why the moment you start explaining too much, why you didn't reply, why you're busy, why you act distant, you lower your value. Because now she's not thinking about you. She's analyzing you, and when a woman analyzes you, attraction dies. But when she wonders about you, it multiplies. The mysterious man gives just enough to connect, but never enough to be fully understood. He lets her imagination do half the work. And here's the secret. A woman's imagination will always be more powerful than your words. When she can't predict you, she invests more. She pays attention to your tone, your silence, your rhythm. She starts trying to decode you, and that's the moment you've already won, not because you're tricking her, but because she's emotionally engaged. This is why silence is your greatest weapon. Not the silence of ignorance, but the silence of control, the kind that says, I don't need to prove anything. In the modern world, most men are loud online, loud in their insecurities, loud in their need to be seen. But the man who moves quietly, who speaks less and means more, the man stands out. He becomes magnetic without trying. She'll remember your pause more than another man's sentence. She'll remember the way you didn't flinch when she pulled away. Because stillness in a storm shows strength, and women feel safe around strength. Mystery is not about hiding your truth. It's about guarding your peace. You share yourself, but only with those who've earned it. You let her see parts, not the whole picture. And that contrast, between what she knows and what she doesn't, becomes irresistible. Because at her core, every woman is drawn to potential. She wants to discover. She wants to unfold the story of who you are. If you give her the full story on day one, you rob her of that experience. But when you hold a little back, when you stay grounded and calm, you invite her into a journey. And that's what attraction really is. A psychological pursuit. She's not chasing you for validation. She's chasing the feeling she gets when she's around you. That mix of curiosity, uncertainty, and anticipation. Every woman craves that balance. The man who makes her feel safe, but never predictable. And the men who master that balance? They don't chase, they attract, so if you want her to crave you, stop trying to be completely understood. Start being felt. Let her sense that there's more to you. More she hasn't seen, more she hasn't unlocked. Because mystery isn't distance. It's depth. It's showing that there's always more beneath the surface, and she'll only see it if she earns it. When you become that kind of man, grounded, composed, unpredictable in a calm way, she won't just be attracted. She'll be fascinated. And fascination is the kind of attraction that never fades. Here's the thing most men don't understand. Mystery isn't about doing less. It's about doing the right things quietly. It's not about being cold or emotionless. It's about being self-contained. Because the man who doesn't need to be understood to feel confident, that's the man every woman feels drawn to. See, mystery begins with emotional control. Most guys think that when a woman pulls back, ignores them or tests them, they have to respond immediately. They double text, they question, they react. But the man who stays calm in those moments sends a message louder than any words could ever say. I'm not moved by uncertainty. That's what makes women lean in. Because in her world, filled with emotional highs, noise, and unpredictability, you become the calm center. You become the peace she doesn't know how to find on her own. When you stop reacting, you stop chasing. And when you stop chasing, you create space. That space is where mystery lives. It's where her curiosity starts to grow roots. Here's the paradox. The less you try to convince her of your value, the more valuable you become. Because women don't fall for explanations. They fall for experiences. She doesn't need you to say you're confident. She needs to feel it in the silence between your words. She doesn't need you to prove you're different. She needs to sense it in the way you walk away without anger. Your mystery grows from how you move. The way you walk into a room without seeking attention but still command it. The way you talk, slower, more deliberate, no rush to fill the silence. The way you hold eye contact just long enough to make her wonder what you're thinking. That pause, that stillness, that's power. Most men talk too much when they're nervous. They overshare because they think being open equals connection. But openness without restraint isn't intimacy, it's exposure. And exposure without value leads to indifference. So start practicing selective revelation. Don't tell your story all at once. Drop hints. Let her ask. Let her work for the details. You'll be shocked how much more invested someone becomes when they have to earn your truth. A mysterious man never tries to impress. He expresses, simply, clearly, authentically, and then leaves space. Because the goal isn't to make her think you're amazing. The goal is to make her feel something she can't explain. That's what keeps her thinking about you long after the conversation ends. You want to know what real mystery sounds like? It's in the man who smiles when others argue. It's in the man who doesn't need to explain where he's going, because his purpose already speaks louder than words. It's in the man who can sit across from a beautiful woman, make her laugh, and still walk away first, leaving her wondering why he didn't push for more. That's how you flip the dynamic. You stop trying to win her, and she starts trying to understand you. That's attraction. That's psychology. Now let's get deeper. Mysterious men aren't mysterious because they hide things. They're mysterious because they live differently. They think differently. Their focus isn't on women. It's on purpose. And that's what makes them so magnetic. They're too busy becoming better men to worry about being liked. You ever notice how the more a man focuses on self-improvement, his discipline, his health, his craft, the more effortlessly women start showing up? That's not coincidence. That's energy. Because energy doesn't lie. Women can feel where your focus is. When you're desperate for attention, your energy chases. When you're grounded in purpose, your energy pulls. You don't even need to try. The way you carry yourself, your stillness, your focus, your lack of need, bond becomes intoxicating. Because every woman wants a man who's hard to reach, not because he's arrogant, but because he's occupied with greatness. She craves the man who doesn't seek constant validation, who doesn't post for approval, who doesn't flinch when things get silent. Because silence for him isn't awkward, it's home. When you embody that, everything changes. You stop needing her to respond, to chase, to confirm your worth. You start radiating something deeper, confidence that doesn't need applause. Now here's the secret. The mysterious man communicates less, but when he does, it matters more. He doesn't text all day, but his one message hits different. He doesn't talk for hours, but his words linger. Because scarcity creates value. You don't need to go cold or distant. You just need to become intentional. Every action, every reply, every gesture should come from a place of calm choice, not emotional impulse. That's what makes you rare, and rare things, they always attract more attention. A woman's curiosity grows when you break patterns she's used to. Most men rush, you take your time. Most men seek reassurance, you stand firm. Most men mirror her energy, you keep your own. You're the contrast, and contrast is what the human mind finds irresistible. So don't try to be the man who's easy to understand. Be the man she can feel but can't fully define. Because when a woman can't label you, she invests more time trying to figure you out. That's the game without playing games. That's mystery, authentic, natural, unforced. And when you live that way, calm, silent, deliberate, you shift from chasing attraction to commanding it. You stop being the man who's waiting for her text and become the man whose absence is felt when he's gone. And here's the truth. When you become that kind of man, you don't lose women. You outgrow them. And the ones who recognize your depth, those are the ones who never want to lose you.